So if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay? So it's already 3 hours long. Right, let's do the first award. The first award.
Hey, welcome to Boomer vs. X. Come on, come on, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that alert button. You wanted the best? Well, now you're gonna get the best. Hello, Boomer.
Hey, thank you all the subscribers. Thank you to all those that are coming back. We really appreciate it. We're here to talk about weird people in Hollywood.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? I do the announcement.
Oh, all right. I stole your thunder again.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. But that's what we're talking about? We're talking about weird people in Hollywood? I thought we were talking about Julio Cesar Chavez being a rapist.
Yeah, good God.
Did he touch you, Boomer?
Yes, he did. He touched me when I was picking cotton.
Allegedly. Say allegedly.
You know, our only Hispanic icon, and they cut him to pieces.
Just say, I know he's been dead for 33 years, but say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Know.
Yeah, I don't want to end up in court.
And why did they cut him to pieces? Because he was against illegal aliens. That's all.
All right. We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. But, Boomer, you thank the audience for the subscriptions, and I would like to personally thank Philip Riley. Just Philip. Just plain Philip.
Okay, Philip, King Philip.
Who, by the way, has his own channel, and it's really good. I checked it out. Very, very good channel. I loved it. He's got more subs than us.
Good.
I also wanted to thank Layla Avicii. You got me on my knees, Layla. Baby, darling, please, Layla. I've got 2 daughters, and not one of them is named Layla.
Really? Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about weird celebrities. So what do you think, Boomer? We got some weird celebrities? Did you watch the Oscars?
Oh, from start to finish, I couldn't get enough of it. Wow. All 5 hours of it. Yeah. I remember when the Oscars was a television event. You can believe it. We would talk about it at work. You got to go see the Oscar. We would have Oscar parties. Remember the Oscar parties? Did you ever go to one? I did.
No, never. Not once.
Yeah, well, I used to work in office buildings with a bunch of office workers, secretaries and file clerks. File clerks don't exist anymore. But yeah, it was a big deal because you were talking about movies like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now and The Deer Hunter and good, great movies. You would get excited because you were talking about the movie stars of the day, which were, they know how to act. They went to school and they had the method and all that stuff. They know how to be a celebrity.
Well, you want to take a look at Billy Crystal doing a fabulous, spectacular in memoriam of the god Rob Reiner? Would you like to see that? Let's check it out.
And for us, who had the privilege of working with and knowing him and loving him, all we can say is, buddy, what fun we had storming the castle.
How do you think normal people, blue-collar, Joe Public guys like us, how on earth do they think that we relate to this? Look at how the curtain comes up and everybody walks out like Rob Reiner was Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to knock Rob Reiner's talent because he was a very talented guy. He knew how to make a movie. These old guys, the De Niro, Rob Reiner, they were liberal to their core, and they're insufferable now in their old age. But they knew how to make a movie for normal people with a mythology that worked, and they knew it. They knew that if they stepped out of the mythology and the storytelling that works, they were going to have a flop. the public was going to reject it wholeheartedly. They predicted this Hollywood. Even though they were part of this Hollywood, this insufferable, homosexual, transgender, illegal alien, you call it what you want, left-wing Marxist Hollywood, at their core, they knew intellectually and financially that they had to tell this story and keep this mythos alive if they wanted to sell tickets. And they were masters at it. Even though they were lying to their teeth, it's not what they wanted, but they knew they had to do it. And they did it perfectly and brilliantly. And Rob Reiner was no exception. He was a hardcore Marxist to his core, leftist, bleeding heart liberal. He would cry at everything, but he made movies like A Few Good Men.
They didn't have to do anything, man. They went ahead and they went with the tide. They didn't care. They figured, well, this is where it's going, but we got ours. We're going to continue making movies and making a ton of money. We're worshipped. It is what it is. Even though if that meant down the road, it was all going to eat itself. They didn't care. Let's continue. Look at everybody. Look at, they're all a bunch of commie leftists. Look at John Cusack. Look at Demi Moore.
You talk about a commie leftist, it's John Cusack.
Demi Moore. We're going to get into Demi Moore in a little bit. But look at these guys. They're straight out of the North Korean playbook.
And for us, who had the privilege.
Yeah, it's just replays. But yeah, that was Billy Crystal at the Oscars worshiping Rob Reiner.
But who did they make their fortune off of? Us.
Us. And don't get me wrong, Boomer. I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. They understood the power of storytelling, and they did it in the traditional way that worked. The way it was supposed to be. Look at Steven Spielberg, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. These guys were master storytellers.
And where did they go test screen their movies? Ohio, Oklahoma, Middle America. If it tests good in Peoria, remember that saying? If it tests good in Peoria, it'll sell nationwide. That was the saying back then.
Yes. So,
even though Steven Spielberg is a bleeding heart liberal, they're all communist Marxist liberals, they had to make movies according to the Joseph Campbell theory. They had to. Otherwise, they knew it was going to be over like it is now. It's a self-inflicted corporate suicide that it's kind of strange to watch. A corporation not wanting to make money? It's kind of bizarre.
Let me ask you something, Boomer. Why didn't they say anything? Why were they complicit? I'm curious. Why?
Because they didn't want to get canceled. They didn't want to get crucified. They didn't want to lose all their friends, like James Woods, Dean Cain, Rob Schneider.
Kevin Sorbo. Right. No, I said Kevin Sorbo. You're right.
And where is Kevin Sorbo and Dean Cain right now, making B-rated movies while these guys are still making A-rated movies with a $100 million budget?
John
Schneider.
They played along. All because they played along. And the left loves to call out people that are complicit. They just love it. So you saw Demi Moore up there. I'm going to show you another side of Demi Moore. You want to see it? Let's see it. All right, so here we have a video, and YouTube put a disclaimer on it. This video may be inappropriate for some viewers. And then there's a little tab that says, I understand and I wish to proceed. You want to proceed, Boomer?
Wait,
let's do it. You can do it.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we are.
Okay, one
Look
more
at
time.
that. Did you just see that?
Well, what does that tell you?
So
I would have loved to be that little boy.
Demi Moore, how old do you think this kid is?
Oh, maybe 12.
Let me ask you another question. How old do you think this luckiest boy in the world is? Like 12?
Probably.
Okay. If you look closely, you can see both their mouths open. Look at this.
Yeah, but Demi Moore is looks like in her 20s. She looks very young.
She looks to be how old? In her 20s?
Yeah, probably. I don't
All right.
know.
Well, is in your 20s an adult or is it a minor?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just comment on the age. But,
Yeah. So
the age of consent
we have a
has
grown.
not been reached.
No, it has not. So we have a grown woman French kissing a 12-year-old little boy.
Yeah,
That's what kind of.
You want to get French kissed by Demi Moore at that age?
Oh, I would do much, much more with Demi Moore at that age, but I would be a minor, so I'm not at the position where I can make decisions such as these on my own.
Yeah, I know.
What does
These
that
guys
tell
are
you about these people?
total hypocrites. They're degenerates. They're all, they don't walk the walk. They don't talk the talk. They talk shit. I know. That's what they're really like. I know it. And they have the gall to lecture us.
So you got John Cusack, you got all these lefty commie Hollywood types screaming, "Release the Epstein files! Release the Epstein files!"
Yeah, there's
Trump's
your Epstein file right there.
Trump's a PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Look, I'm releasing this. Let's look at that one more time.
Okay, one more time.
If that were my son, I would have burned the mouth. I absolutely would have. If that were my little boy, I would have walked right over to Demi Moore and I would have out because I'm the one that's going to have to deal with the repercussions of that decision 5-10 years down the road. Yeah, there you go. Demi Moore French kissing a 12-year-old little boy. I raised 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the challenges of raising children. And that shit right there ain't normal.
No, that's not normal. I would push it away, but it's not normal.
Have you seen those YouTube videos of like the teachers screwing the kids? And it's always this like female teacher. And look, man, I'm not going to sit here and try to be holier than thou. Where were those hot teachers when I was a kid?
Yeah, hot
is
for
what
teacher,
I'm
man.
thinking. Yeah, I'm hot for teacher. Oh, my. Fucking Van Halen, they were the greatest.
It's different for boys. It's just different for guys.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know what a grown-ass woman screwing a 12-year-old little boy will do to that little boy's mind.
Have you ever seen a mother kiss her 13, 14-year-old little boy? Have you ever seen that?
Let me ask you a question. This is crazy that you're bringing this up. Because the other day, I was walking down the street and I saw a father and his daughter walking down the street. And she was, 10, 11. And he was holding her hand. And I thought that was a little weird.
The girl, his daughter's hand?
A little bit. I'm being honest.
You're just getting kind of really prudish here. No,
Well,
I saw
would you like me to
mothers
finish?
at the facility. Okay.
So I thought it was a little weird. Like, do you really have to hold her hand? She's right next to you. This is your daughter. And then I started thinking, what about, because I've known people where the fathers will kiss their sons on the lip. And I'm thinking, well, I can see if the child is a baby, like a baby or a toddler. But at 10 or 11, would that make me feel weird? What do you think about that? Kissing on the lips, your kid. I mean, I can see the cheek or the
I've
forehead.
seen families do that. They kiss on the lips, but it's affection. I wouldn't do it.
I
Kiss on
guess-
the cheek, kiss on the forehead, whatever.
So you wouldn't do it?
No. Not on the
How
lip.
come?
It's
Being
kind
a
of
little
more
prudish?
intimate, I guess. To me,
Yeah,
to me, it's a
little
perception of
intimate.
intimacy. But
Yeah,
having a
perception of
child's
intimacy.
handheld, that's perfectly normal. Children hold their parents' hands all the time.
Well, maybe crossing the street, but down the sidewalk? I don't know. It would just, I don't know.
Daddy's
Hey, man.
girl,
Yeah, I guess. But then that took me on to the frame of thought of, well, what about, because it's always kind of creeped me out when, like, lip kissing. And especially after that Demi Moore video. Ugh. Yeah. I don't know. Hollywood's got me creeped out.
Hollywood has only itself to blame. The entertainment business adopted this strange, suicidal corporate model not to make money, not to have a bottom line, not to fulfill their fiduciary obligation to their shareholders and lose money. It's the most bizarre, interesting phenomenon I have ever encountered. It's a reverse capitalism that makes no sense, no economic sense. I don't know why the shareholders haven't imploded and exploded on the entertainment business. Why they keep lending them money? Why would a bank lend Paramount Pictures and Warner Brothers Pictures and Sony Entertainment money? Why would you Disney? Why would you lend Disney money? Are you insane? But it's a very strange corporate structure they have now to lose money. You knew how to tell stories. You knew how to do this stuff. You invented Hollywood. Here, America invented Hollywood 100-something years ago.
I keep telling you, man, it's all for the ideology. By any means necessary, it's all for their ideology. That's all that matters to them. That's it.
The ideology, the only ideology that a bank matters is to make money, profit motive. Why would you lend money to a Disney that's losing fucking money? Doesn't make any sense. You mean the banks are in the ideology, Marxism, they're in there?
No, of course not. No, because the banks, don't get it twisted, the banks are as fucking whacked out as you. They're like, oh my God, they literally have a goose that lays golden eggs. We gotta lend them this money. Hopefully they'll do it right. And they don't see the board of directors is a bunch of white liberal woke women, and they just hope for the best. They loan that money out, and guess what? You get a black Peter Pan, you get some strange unisexual Tinkerberry, and it all goes to shit. They're just hoping they make the right decision, because why wouldn't you make the right decision? Why wouldn't you print the money? Yeah.
Well, that's a $60,000 question, isn't it?
It's not. I'm telling you the answer, because it's for their ideology. These board of directors, they're all white liberal women and cucked out guys, and they sit in a big table and they say, we need to have Peter Pan be black. We need to have Tinkerbell as a transsexual. Geppetto needs to be a homosexual parent.
But is that really the conversation that goes on at these venture capital, the banks? We need a black homosexual Peter Pan?
No.
To make money?
That's what
I
keep
that
telling
stupid?
you. No, that's what I keep telling you. The banks are sitting there going, Jesus Christ, I hope they don't do a dud like they did last time, because we're giving them a lot of money and they have a machine that prints money. That's what the banks are doing.
Say no? The bank just downgraded New York City. Moody's downgraded. They're in touch with if a municipality misses a payment, they'll come after you. These banks, they've lost money for the past 20 years, but they're still lending it out.
Well, because they get their money back. That's the problem. They get their money back. Whatever they loan these studios, all a bank has to do is recover what they loaned out. That's it. So they're not getting a foreclosure. They're not taking a loss. As long as the banks get what they loaned out, what can they do? What can they say? That's why I keep telling you, the banks are sitting here going, we loaned them the money, they paid it back, but my God, they could have made so much more. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy, Boomer. I understand why you're so baffled. I'm baffled too.
Yes.
I've done a lot of business. I've made a lot of transactions in my 51 years of life, and I know how banks operate. You've done it too.
Bought cars, bought houses, got the credit card debt and all that stuff, taking out loans. And we know if this is the way of doing business, it's loony toony. It's loony boony. You do business like this?
What can they do, Boomer? What can they do? They're asking for a loan. They're good for it. They give it to them and they pay the loan back. What can the banks do? They're just sitting there. They're the third party. Anyways.
Okay. And what about the shareholders? They want more profit. Why? How come they haven't revolted? Why haven't the shareholders revolted?
I don't know. But look at what happened to X. Twitter, when X was Twitter, was sitting around, and along came Elon Musk and said, I want to buy X. And everybody that was involved and ran X said, hell no. The guy's, he's a conservative, racist, he's whatever. And the shareholders got involved and said, no. If he's got the capital, we got to sell this company to the guy that's making the bid. And they were forced to sell X to Elon Musk. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of conversation and a lot of talk, but the fact of the matter, if they're paying that loan back, it's hard because they're not going under. They're just in this weird state of limbo. And you're right, shareholders, hold Disney accountable. Star Wars should have made $1 quadrillion by now. And it hasn't. It's lost money. So maybe the shareholders are a bunch of woke idiots too. You ever think of that?
Good God, man. What planet are we living on? Chuck Norris just died. And he made the same formula movie time and time again. And he told the same story, the hero story, the revenge story. Or he made a small fortune. The guy seeking justice story. And he made a small fortune. He never deviated from anything. He never went progressive. He never went liberal. He knew the stories that people wanted, and they bought it. And they made him a millionaire.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm a blue-collar guy, so I got to say Chuck Norris made an enormous fortune. Let's take a look at Chuck Norris.
6th birthday. Joining me now is Shagun Oduolowu, Emmy Award-winning host, journalist, and commentator. Breaking and tragic news this morning. Let's talk a little bit about Chuck Norris as a whole. Obviously, we want to remember him for his best qualities and his influence on the entire world. How would you describe his big personality and what he brought to the action genre?
Thank you, Alex. I would describe Chuck as incredible, almost larger than life. Some of his accomplishments have never been repeated. And I find the number 86 to be so poetic for him. He was an 8-time Taekwondo, or 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, the first Westerner to ever hold that title. He was a 6-time undefeated middleweight champion in karate. So the numbers go well together, and they describe this man who was very conservative at heart, which kind of flows with his discipline in Eastern martial arts, where it's.
Did you hear what he said? This man who was very conservative. Mm-hmm. I never heard of Chuck Norris in recent times. I grew up on Chuck Norris, but you never heard people talk about Chuck Norris. Remember the 90s, that show he was on, Texas Walker Ranger?
He played a cop. He played a no-nonsense cop that would beat up the bad guy, kill the bad guy at the end of the show, and that's it. You're done with it. He would throw out the trash, as they used to say.
I'll never forget when he went one-on-one with Bruce Lee. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The two of them just went at it. Or that movie, Lone Wolf McQuade. I thought that was the coolest movie, and he's gone.
And he played the action hero, and he played the hero, and the bad guy always died in the end, and that's what people want to see. They don't want to see the two superheroes give themselves a kiss. What the hell is that? Grab their ass? No, we don't want to see that. We want to see the bad guy dying a horrible death. You're not too bad now, are you? Ha ha ha. That's what we want to see.
What a way for one to lose his head. Yeah, man. I'm going to miss him. Let's take a look at some more Chuck Norris. So this was Chuck Norris when he used to compete. And I just wanted to share this because, my God, did he have a gift.
Yeah.
There he is. Look. There he is. He's competing. Look at that kick. He's pushing the opponent to the side. Takes a hit. Gets back up. This is point karate. Look at how fast he got up. Look at him, young, ready to take on the world. Getting a trophy. He truly lived a life, man. Later, he went on to compete in jiu-jitsu. He opened a bunch of jiu-jitsu gyms. He hooked up with the Gracies. He was introduced to jiu-jitsu and was just blown away. Opened a gym. And one day the Gracies showed up and they were talking to Chuck. And Chuck says, you know what, I'm going to move on. I'm going to go on and do my own thing. And they were bummed. They're like, oh, we're going to lose the gym. He goes, nah, the gym's yours. It's my gift to you. Let them have the gym. That's what kind of man Chuck was. And he died in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chuck Norris, you will truly be miss us.
Well, why do you think the public loved the swashbuckler of the 19 teens and the 20s and 30s? because they would do their own stunts.
Yeah.
It was Fairfax Jr. and Sr., Lon Chaney Sr., all those people would do their, even Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Frank Lloyd Wright, Harold Lloyd, they would do their own stunts. They would learn the swashbuckling and the rope climbing, and they would parachute, and they would do the sword fighting. They would do the car chases on their own. These were men doing manly things, and that's why the public loved them. There were those stunt doubles back then.
Yeah. And so now, instead of Chuck Norris, we got Sean Penn. Here's a video of Sean Penn having a conversation with Bill Maher. Let's take a look.
Accept an invitation is because I see no it's a long flight. And I see no
Really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think that I
Castro
would-
and Hugo Chavez, but not the president of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of the
You do realize
agendas that
that
I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would I just personally
know.
wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room, including the personality.
It's not a matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, matter of experiencing, matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's an
More
interesting-
knowledge. It's like saying I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, fair
I want
enough.
to.
Look at this guy. What a lame James Dean wannabe act. Look at his shoes. The guy's a billionaire. Look at his shoes. They're taped up. The hair is fucking messed up. He's smoking a cigarette. Everything's kind of casual and relaxed. What a poser, man. I can't stand these people. Look at your shoes. Do you know what I would give to have a nice pair of shoes?
I
If
went to
I were
school with
Sean Penn, I would be wearing a suit. I would look like Bill Maher right there with suede boots, looking fucking kick-ass. Look at him, Boomer.
I went to school with him. Santa Monica High School. I was on the wrestling team. He was on the tennis team. I never saw him playing tennis, but he was running around with his short little shorts and his tennis racket all the time. And we never really interacted because we were from two socially different, economic different backgrounds. He would hang out with all the Malibu kids, Emilio Estevez and all those guys, and I would hang out with the working class Santa Monica guys, wrestling guys. And you would hear their conversations about driving the Mercedes-Benz down Benedict Canyon, Malibu Canyon. I could relate to that. And he has lived the most beautiful life imaginable, the Malibu beach life.
Yeah.
You know the Malibu beach life. It's absolutely gorgeous. By the Pacific Ocean, having the parties galore at the Malibu mansion, overlooking the ocean and the canyons. That was his life.
But then they all voted for Karen Bass and it burned down. And you're going to have Shaniqua and Leroy living there.
Whenever I see him being a bad guy, the hitman, the policeman, the hard detective, it's all a lie. I know him. He's a bum. He's got none of that in him. It's a poser. He's a faker. He's a phony. I know him. He's got none of that in him. He's got no grit. And not just him. He is a representative of all of Hollywood actors. Chuck Norris was the real deal. He had the scars to prove it. These guys,
Rich kids.
Stuntman, double. Where's the double? Come get hit. Come do the punch. Come make me look
kids,
good.
Rich kids and theater kids. I remember I had a job repairing sprinklers up in Malibu. That was my job. I had to go around and I would look for sprinkler heads that were busted or valves. I would do installations, and these people were living a life you could not imagine. Filthy, utopic wealth. And I was sitting in my truck eating my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and hard-boiled egg because I didn't have any money. And this guy, Sean Penn, comes jogging with the security team. I'm holding my phone up because I need something to do. I'm looking at my phone. And I think he thought I was filming him. And he gave me the filthiest look, like he just wanted to fight. And I'm sitting there. I'm thinking, that's Sean Penn. And my guy I repaired sprinklers with is going, dude, what the fuck? Look at him. Look how he's staring at you. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get into a fight with Sean Penn and 5 of his private security guards that look like they were Navy SEALs. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen right now because I'm eating a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had the same experience with Tommy Lee up in Malibu.
Yeah. He wanted to fight you over his kid, right?
Well, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
You didn't clean something. Yeah, something like that.
No.
Yeah, no. These
let's
guys
not-
are losers. They're posers. They're wannabe. They're fakers. They're phony. You know what they do?
What do they do?
So they get a part as a cab driver. They have to go with a cab driver to get the sense of being a cab driver. You get a
Right.
part as a cop. You have to shadow an LAPD detective to get the sense of being a cop. Why? Why do you need to know how to be a cab driver, a cop, a garbage collector, a regular schmo? You have to go down into the people to learn how to be a regular person? Really?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
they
to
have no
go
clue.
get the experience of being a secretary? Good God. That tells you everything you need to know about these guys. They're phony.
We don't need actors anymore. They're obsolete. We don't need them anymore. Just like you could take Pro Tools and make an incredible album in your bedroom, in your studio apartment, you don't need actors anymore. Let me show you some AI actors. These are people that are not people. They are not real. They're computer generated. Let's take a look. Those people aren't real, Boomer. They're AI generated. So you see the image on the screen right now. This is a roster of AI generated actors. You could pick one and trademark them and you own it. And if a movie company contacts you and says, hey, we would like to use one of your AI actors, are you down with that? You could tell them yes, and they will pay you to use your AI generated actor. That's where this is going. Let me show you some more AI generated actors. Go ahead.
I understand that AI is the future.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. We need human celebrities. We need them. We can't get in. We cannot survive as a human species without stories and storytellers and storytelling. We can't. We need to be entertained. Music. The music business killed itself.
We don't need them. We could do it without them.
I'm telling you. Yes, we can. We can do it without them.
It would be nice to have
We
them.
can't do without the celebrity. We need the Chuck Norrises of the world. We need the Errol Flynns of the Douglas Fairbanks of the world. We need them.
We don't. We don't technically need them.
Technically, we don't need them now.
I would prefer them, Boomer. I would prefer them, but they're making the rules, and they're making it this way. I would prefer Chuck Norris. I would prefer Bruce Willis. I would prefer Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would prefer Sylvester Stallone. But unfortunately, we're getting Sean Penn. We're getting John Cusack. We're getting Jason Momoa. I get you. I would prefer them, but that's not where they're taking this train on a different track.
Yes.
Let's look at Mr. Val Kilmer as an AI generated actor.
The iconic actor will return to the screen as an AI-generated version of his former self.
He's no longer with us, but we're going to get the experience of Val Kilmer through this process of this story.
Before his health deteriorated, filmmakers Cordy and John Voorhees say Kilmer was enthusiastic about his role in As Deep as the Grave, a film about archaeologists and Native Americans in the Southwest desert.
We're all about ethical AI. That is what this is, right? And it's collaborative.
This film specifically is the best example because he already wanted to do this character.
The filmmakers say they used home movies and personal photos to generate the new AI version, not Kilmer's professional work.
The Navy needs Maverick.
The actor had embraced similar technology during his lifetime. After losing his voice because of throat cancer, he worked with a software company to create an AI-powered version for the 2022 movie Top Gun Maverick.
One last thing.
Yeah, so there you have Val Kilmer using his image and his voice beyond the grave. We don't need them. You don't need Mark Hamill in Star Wars anymore. Just take his image. He doesn't deserve it.
Okay, I have an interesting thought on this.
Let's hear it.
They are doing this for the perpetuation of the image of Val Kilmer, or Elvis Presley, anybody who's dead.
Yeah.
I understand that. But there's also a financial gain in this. And I'm wondering if they're also doing this because they're going to get an extra extension on the copyright of Val Kilmer. Because eventually the copyright will end on Val Kilmer, the person.
Yeah.
Eventually. So I'm wondering if this is if this extends it, is it all about controlling the image of Val Kilmer forever? He'll never come into the public domain because you're just going to reinvent him with some sort of technology?
Let me answer.
That's what I'm worried about.
Question.
Nothing will ever come into the public domain.
The answer to that question is yes. Nothing will ever come into the public domain because they are greedy fucks. There's your answer. You're absolutely right. Hollywood is going to figure out how to own everything in perpetuity. I've answered your question.
And Hollywood, with its obsession, its greed on copyrights, has destroyed its own business by not introducing it to a younger generation. You can't even talk about it. You can't even show it. You can't sing the song. You can't play the song. You can't show the movie clip because we own it. We won't let you. You got to pay us. We can't show anything because Hollywood will copyright us. This happens to Rick Beato, Professor of Rock, all of these shows, Tim Pool, you name it. It happens to them all. Hollywood's greed is all-consuming, and it's killing itself because these younger generations, they have no clue about the Beatles. They don't know about that movie. Who's that? I've never heard that before. Who is? That's your history, young man. Children, this is your legacy. This is your mythology. These are your stories. You've never heard them before because Hollywood won't let you hear them before.
Let me show you something about Gen Z, and then you give me your take on it. This is Chris Gore from Film Threat.
Gen Z has become a major force behind the resurgence of movie theaters, helping drive several surprising box office successes in 2025. Films like Zootopia 2, which earned $1.86 billion worldwide to become the year's biggest hit, and Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch, which surpassed $1 billion, demonstrated the strong appeal of family-friendly and nostalgia-driven movies among younger audiences. Unexpected performers such as Iron Lung and Scream 7 also exceeded expectations, showing how Gen Z enthusiasm can boost both independent projects and major franchises. In 2025, Gen Z accounted for 39% of moviegoers in North America, up from 34% in 2019, and their theater attendance increased by 25% over the previous year. Despite growing up in a digital world, Gen Z has embraced the communal experience of going to the movies, often pairing it with social media engagement. Analysts say younger viewers enjoy sharing their theater outings online and participating in the broader cultural conversation surrounding new releases.
Of course they do. Of course they do, because it's an experience that you can talk about. We went to the movies. It was so good. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to meet up with Johnny and Susie. Save me a spot in line. Of course they do. Just like every other generation who adored going to the cinema.
It's all about human contact and the human experience. You will never supplant it.
But will they be able to save the movie industry?
The movie industry will never be saved by anybody except themselves. They did this to themselves. They can get out of it themselves. The movie business will destroy itself or reinvent itself. That's it. No one can save it except itself. You either make the movies that people want, or you continue to make this transgender slop, race swapping crap.
In other words, or you don't.
Or you will be replaced by somebody who can make stories that people will go see.
And unfortunately, that's where it's headed. You will be replaced by the Joe Public sitting in his bedroom creating the Star Wars trilogy that the masses have always wanted to see on his computer using AI. You're finished, Hollywood. You're done, Sean Penn. It's over. Your time has come.
Now, here's the thing. The music business went one step further with its greed. Oh, I hate the fucking music business. I hate record labels and Spotify. They took the financial incentive out of starting a band.
Yeah.
Because it used to be the record company would pay the artist 30% of the dollar. 30%. You sell an album for $10, you get $3. You sell 1 million copies, you get $3 million.
It's a whole new ball of wax now.
Amazon, iTunes gives 0.003% So you got 1 million downloads, you get $300. Who wants to start a band anymore?
Nobody. It's over. The way it's going to work is that I make the Star Wars trilogy everybody's wanted to see out of my bedroom, and you give me a flat rate. That's the new model. But anyways, listen, we've gone on way too long. Way too long. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that alert button. Live free or die. Crisis King. The tree of liberty has been watered. Boomer, do you have any last old wise yet decrepit words?
We need subscribers. I need subscribers before I go. You're going to get an AI of this. You're going to get an AI of that. Huh? AI of this, huh? Subscribe, man.
And for those who have, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. BVX out. Boom.